Welcome to the Lightspeed Investing Podcast. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Dr. Stephanie, who's had an amazing and inspirational journey from what she has went through in medicine to now embracing trading and investing in the futures markets. Dr. Stephanie, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Philip?
I'm fantastic. I'm super excited to connect with you. I know it's been a arduous journey, but you have made it work nonetheless. And before anything, I want to say I'm so happy to see the Christmas tree in your background because Santa must have been blessing you with a lot of gifts, and that's why you have had the success that you've been sharing with us lately.
Oh, yes, for sure. My lucky charm.
That's right. That's right. So, why don't you tell the people what discipline of medicine you're in? And of course, right, being so medically indoctrinated, what your impression was when you first learned about this concept of investing with the futures and commodity financial markets, and what made you decide to take that leap of faith to actually embrace what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so I'm actually internal medicine doctor. When I started this, I was actually doing a hospitalist job for my visa waiver exchange. And so I was getting very burned out because of all the work and very few pay. And then the frustration of wanting to invest, but then I wasn't able to because you can't save that much in those type of jobs. And everybody tell me, oh, come back when you get X amount of money to invest in whatever. And that's when I met the team in one of the some type of conference I went to for financial physicians. And that's when I started being, I was frustrated. And I told you, I'm very frustrated that I don't have the money to invest, but everybody tells me, come back when you have money saved. And I'm like, there has to be another way to get there for me to keep investing, in real estate and all that stuff. And that's when you actually and the team started talking about trading. At that time, when you said it the first time, I'm like, I don't do gambling, so I'm not going to get into that. But then what actually intrigued me to even look at the videos that you sent for me to review was the fact that you said, well, when you were a student in medicine, you didn't know how to read a CVC. And now you can read a CVC with your eyes closed. Do you think that just comes, from nothing? No, you had to study it and then learn it and eventually, And then you said, well, you just have to read 10% of everything that you studied in medicine to actually be good at trading. It's analytical skills. And if you follow through, then it should be fine. And then when I saw the video, I thought it was legit, but I wasn't too sure. I didn't want to get too excited. So I told my brother that knows a little bit about trading. I'm like, look at this video. What do you think? And he said that he liked it. And what he liked the best was that with the tools, it helped you kind of understand risk management, not just throwing money in and be like, oh, I lost, $10,000 just like that. It tells you how to get into the trade and when to get out and just analyze everything for the best, possible solution and outcome. And so the next morning I'm like, you know what? I think I'm in. And it only took that night for me to talk a little bit to my brother and just go ahead and jump in. However, as you know, my journey has been a little bit not so very 100% from the beginning. I've been successful like probably other people have. Because last year, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I kind of got into it probably at the same time I was getting diagnosed. So eventually I kind of I was watching the videos and going to classes, but not really doing it properly. And so December hit and I'm like, wow, it's been almost a year since I started, this trading thing and I haven't done anything. Let me get into it. So that's when I kind of catched on again in January of last year, 2025, because we're already in 26. But that's when I actually started to okay, I'm going to sit down, review the information. I'm going to go to classes religiously, just like a student, and do this thing. And I did. And to be honest, at the beginning, I'm like, what is this? What is this? Eventually, after 2 months, I was understanding everything in the class. And after 3-4 months, that's when I was actually clicking everything when I was actually doing my own trading. Sort of what I tell to other doctors is when you actually learn how to do a code, when somebody's in cardiac arrest, you know it all. But the first time you're at PGY3 and you're doing it, you don't know anything. You're like, what comes next? I don't know. And everybody's with their little calculator or something. They're like, hey, tell me what's next. What's next? But after a time, you just do it it goes on the flow. You just do it automatic. And I feel I'm at that level right now with my trading. Like I can see the patterns, I can see what's going to happen, I can predict way better. Obviously, I'm not an expert yet, but in the past 3 to 4 months, like at the end of the year, August through now, I've been doing so much better. And this is talking about me having a full-time job, because I'm now working in an office from 8 to 5, and my boss does not want to give me not even 10 minutes to trade.
I know.
But I do it in between patients. And so now that I can understand it very quickly, I can actually do it in a couple of minutes, like 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Sometimes I get 15 minutes. And I wish I could have more time to do bigger trades, but at least I get to do something. And then I know that the time when I get my green card and I can actually have that scheduling change and have time to do it, I could probably do way more better because I'm more consistent now, so I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, no, we're very happy to hear your resilience. And that's, there's a couple of things that I want to touch on that's pure gold here. But let's just talk about the fact that when you first started, you also ran into some health challenges. And as I always tell, our physician clients and business clients alike, the one intangible that you got to have here, and if you have it, you will bend that corner. And I've seen it time after time again in our success stories, which is as long as you're willing to maintain the same amount of enthusiasm and determination, and you don't forget why you jumped in, you will be successful, right? Like technical analysis, technical skill sets aside. And I think that's also why doctors tend to thrive, because you have been exposed to that rigorous training, right? Going through med school and residency.
Yeah.
For you, in terms of the vision that you had, right? Like, what was it that motivated you, right, to stick with it? Because I mean, going through breast cancer, for a year and a half, right, when you started something new, you could have easily just folded and stuck to the status quo and just lived the same life that you had already lived, right? So what was that like itch that made you go, I got to make this work?
Yeah, so the itch came even a little bit before the breast cancer. It's like the fact that my dream life, right now I don't want to have kids, I don't want to have that type of family. I've always wanted to travel, and I want to have the freedom to be like, what, I don't want to work for a whole month, or I don't want to do XYZ, which obviously why locums look very appeasing, but I can't do that right now. And so I was like, I need something that can give me the liberty to have the cash flow and the money that I need without having to stress too much about rent and, buying real estate that much. But at the same time, I can be anywhere I want. And when I actually hopped back in, because I saw myself like, wow, it's December, I have the cancer, I haven't done anything with this. I was like, no. But remember your vision. My vision is I want to be in Europe somewhere and stay there like 6 months in the same country, but I'm still trading even like 30 minutes a day. And I can still live there. And then when I get tired, I go somewhere else. Like, that's what I want to do, and then maybe do volunteering doctor stuff, somewhere here and there.
Yeah.
But that's volunteering.
Digital nomad, right, is what we kind of call it.
That's it. My mom always said that I was a nomad somehow, and she wanted to strip that away from my heart. I'm like, you can't take that away from me.
You know what's funny? That's exactly what our CIO is doing right now. I've got a 26-year-old. He's my right hand. We helped him retire from his 6-figure engineering job last summer. And so right now, as we speak, he's checking out Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam before coming back to the States, to do some business conferences on the West Coast.
You see, that's exactly what I want.
But you know what he says? His identity. You know what he says? His identity is that he is a wanderer because he is homeless, right? In the sense that you've described it. Like he wants that freedom, no structure pressed down on him, and he can be anywhere he wants in a way that can still generate income, right? And which is what trading has.
Oh yes, 100%. And you know what? It's not only for that. My mom was diagnosed with Parkinson a couple years ago, and it's been like a little bit tough, and she's not responding to medication. So I was thinking, you know what? I need my mom to get like stem cell therapy, stuff like that. But that's not covered by the insurance, And I told her, you know what? Screw it. Just do it. Like, she's like, that's too much money. I'm like, no, I can handle it. Why? Because I have my trading. And I'm like, I can do this for my mom. I can retire my mom, in the next few months.
And that's probably that was that additional.
It's amazing, like it can help my family with not a problem,
Right. And that's that additional oomph, right? In terms of what drives you and what makes
Oh
you
yeah,
want to
100%.
be
Yeah.
better here. Now let's talk about the trading, right? So because listeners who where this may be a foreign concept, how are
Mhm.
you? I mean, like let's talk about the inputs, right? Like so, how out of your 5 days, you're still working clinics. You have a very strict boss. Can we go into the details of how you're able to make that work, right? I mean, in terms of like the journey where maybe you first started learning, then you started practicing on that mannequin patient, right? The way I describe
Mhm.
it, which is the simulated trading, and then eventually
Yeah.
getting the courage and confirmation that you're ready to trade live, right? So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that.
So I think, yeah, it's really hard. I think it's different for everybody. But for sure, the most important thing is that even before I started the simulation, for at least a week, actually, I just studied like theory. Like I was just reading, reading, reading. And after I thought like, okay, I don't understand anything, but I know that I read it, and I just now need to like see it to kind of consolidate the information. So I started seeing videos, going to class, and I started right away with the simulation just to see. I wasn't at the beginning very discouraged, like, I was losing all the money in simulation because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But as I saw what was I thinking, and then I reviewed what I did wrong, what I did right, also with the, teachers that you guys give us access to. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is what that means. Oh, yes, I read this, like sort of practicing it. Now, in terms of me going live with my real money, I think I did it a little bit too soon. Because I remember clearly they always tell me try to do, make 1,000, 2,000 in simulation consistently before you even think about going live. So I
Yep.
was sort of there, but not very consistent. But my issue was that I wasn't consistent because of my scheduling. Like sometimes I don't focus enough. Sometimes
Yeah.
somebody interrupts me while I'm in the middle of a trade, and then I'm like, and I just go
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? No, I need to do this live. So I feel the responsibility of losing the actual money.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. And yes, at the beginning, I was losing a lot. But right now, I'm like, I have already regained the money that I had lost, last year while I was trying to figure it out. So that's why I think for me is a little bit more different, because even as I started trading in the Dow, which is the YM, it's
Mm-hmm.
the lowest risk. But like you and I have talked before, because I don't have enough time, I switched to the NQ, which is the NASDAQ. But that's
Right.
a lot of money that you can lose in like $1.20. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yes, I lost a lot of money, but I was like, no, I need to train my eyes because NASDAQ is faster to
Yep.
like get used to it so that I can take more value out of it, even if I only get like 10, 20, 15, whatever points, like it's
Yep.
not the same 20 points in NQ than in YM. And so
Yeah.
I did lose a lot of money there, but I knew that the goal end game was that I am going to get used to it, and I'm going to be way more profitable in those little minutes that I have in between patients.
Mm-hmm.
So now the technique is there, and now the issue is the emotions. Like how sometimes you're not focused, or sometimes, they do like what they say, revenge trading and stuff, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So I
Yeah.
still need to like, control these things from time to time. I have become way more patient with trading.
Mm.
I was a very impatient person, but trading, you got to be very
But
patient.
see, that's the thing that you learn as you go through that journey,
Yeah.
especially once you embrace live trading. It's another self-discovery journey, right? You're gonna really
Oh,
figure out what
yeah.
type of personality you naturally have and what happens, right, when pressure starts mounting on you because you have
Yeah,
real
that's
money
for
on the
sure.
line. Now, just to give proper perspective, what is the average amount of time that you're committed to? I know, like, in terms, is it like
Yeah.
30 minutes a day? Are you doing it every day? And then what is the average gains now that you're seeing, right? Plus minus.
So I usually do every day in the morning before clinic starts. I just review all the charts and see how it's moving, sort of to get an assessment of what's going to happen ish at 9:30. So every day at least, I would say probably 1 or 2, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, and then trading for sure, unless something happens at that time, which usually something happens. But
Mm-hmm.
the trading in between 9:30 and 10, I usually always try to get to my office and do something. So I would say in total at least 2 to 3 hours per day, plus the days that there's class. I do the class, which is
Right.
twice a week. And yeah, like it's it's interesting. But I like it. Yeah, I think it's fun and different, you know?
No, and absolutely, and you know, I'm really proud of you, and kudos to you for every time we talk. Whenever there's, I would say, constructive criticism, you take it on the chin, and then you immediately apply it. Right? I really think that's
Yeah.
another reason for the success that you're seeing right now. Because, like,
Yeah.
I think we talked about, hey, maybe you know you want to up your familiarity with these markets, so maybe start
Yeah.
looking at them more so towards the evening because the Nasdaq still moves, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you started to decide to start embracing that, and I think that's
Yeah.
also helped contribute to your current successes that you're seeing as well, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. It is helping. The night I usually do it maybe like 2 or 3 times per week because I
Right.
get tired sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to like get used to it so that I can maybe do it at night too.
And of course, you know, this game is not all just wins, right? There's some losses involved as
Yeah.
well. So, you know, we try to, well, our philosophy here is you never have losing days. It's okay to have losing trades, but not losing days, because as long as you're disciplined with your risk management,
Yeah.
and especially spread across all trades equally, right? And let's
Yeah.
say you still win like 6 out of 10 times, that's still net profit, right? So where do
Mhm.
you think you're at right now in that regard? And where do you see yourself being, right, in the next, you know, 3 6 months? Like, what is that vision?
I think right now, like you just said, I have noticed that some days more than others, I have like some losing trades, but
Hmm.
then I can recover the same day. Either go positive or just stay neutral, like, like no gains, but at least no losses. I do think that in the next 6 months, for sure, even 3 months, I do see myself being more on the positive side and more consistently winning because those negative traits that I get are usually because of my impatience.
Mm,
I get very impatient, so sometimes I'm like either go in too fast or go out too fast, stuff like that. And I
sure.
am working on that specifically. So I
Yeah.
really think in the next 3 to 6 months, I'm definitely gonna be every day doing positive. Like just great.
Well, the thing is, how many contract sizes are you committed to
Right
right now in your
now,
trade?
right now I'm doing starting. I start with two and no
Okay.
more than five in total.
I see.
I do see myself that once I see no more, impatience and stuff like that, I am thinking of starting always with two, but then I can add up at least 10, a
I see.
maximum 10. I do want to do that for the next 6 months.
No, that's great. That because once you can master 10 contracts consistently, you know, that's
Yeah.
pretty much a 5-figure day. Not like, because right
Yeah.
now when you do win, right, share with the audience, or is the range more so between 3 to 4 figures? Like, you haven't quite hit that 5 figures yet, right? In the
No,
fiscal year.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
right now between 3 and 4 figures
Mm,
consistently. Yeah, I'm
nice.
still not at 5.
Yeah, but the thing
But
is, once
that's
you can
coming.
get No, but once you can get the inputs down consistently at
Yeah.
10 contracts, that's going to be really life changing. Even I would
Oh
say
yeah.
between that 6 to 10, right, above 5, especially with the
Yeah.
Nasdaq. Now,
Uh,
for the physicians listening in, if you can enlighten them with some medical terminology, right? Like I always say, because I have this surgery background,
yeah.
similar to diagnosing X-rays, CT scans, and MRI scans. The difference here is when you diagnose these charts the right way, you have the opportunity to convert these markets into your own personal ATM machine. And
Yeah.
since this is a high income skill set, the better you get at it, just like getting your MD, right, and going through the ranks of becoming a resident, then an attending, right, or fellowship, then an attending, and then actually out practicing, the better you get at the skill set, that ATM machine has the possibility to evolve to become your own bank as well. So in
Yeah.
that regards, right, in terms of the diagnosis, the scientific methodology, the logical approaches that allow you to properly and conduct yourself in this technical analysis environment, what do you have to say how similar it is to medicine?
I think it's very similar. I always compare it, for me it's always
Yeah.
compared to a code.
Yeah.
Because in a code, yeah, people are in cardiac arrest, you have to figure it out, you have to change your patterns and everything that you're doing in the moment. And once you know how to do it properly, you're just going on a flow. And people say like, "Oh my god, this guy knows how to do like a code really well." The same thing with trading. Once you get all the technique information and you can read the patterns and all these things, you can right away change all your thinking of like, oh no, this is going down, this is going up. Let me go in, let me go out, let me buy, let me sell, all these things rapidly. And I think we are able to do that if you're able to do a good code. By the time that you understand the flow of the charts and everything, I think everybody's golden.
Thank you so much for that advice. And for those listening, if they still are on the fence or if they're a little bit skeptical, what do you have to say to them, from what you've gone through, to let them know that, like, hey, even though you may be skeptical, this is still worth your time to look at, and why?
I think something very important, people will be skeptical mostly because either they've tried it before or heard of someone that tried it before and have lost a lot of money. I think something very important that should be highlighted, obviously I've never done trading with anybody else but you guys, but something very important is that in every class, everywhere, and everything that you read, it's all about risk management, meaning never will the team tell you, go in, go all out, lose all your money. No, every time we talk about a trade, it's a great trade if you were able to have this little tiny risk and then your margin is this big. But once you have like a very big risk and yeah, you got lucky and you won something, it's like good for you, but no, this is not the way we do it. So the fact that they are definitely trying to help you with the risk management, there is no way that you're going to lose all your money as how people usually see trading.
And having gone through it, do you agree or disagree that this is only 1/10 of a Robbins Pathology textbook's information?
Oh, 100%. I mean, yes, there's a lot of things that you still keep learning, but it's definitely it's not the Robbins. The Robbins is too thick.
And it's that asymmetrical risk to reward.
Yeah.
Back in present again, but in this case, what I like to call it is asymmetric effort to reward.
Yes. Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
if you're willing to learn this, you go through that initial learning curve, but then similar to you, right? Once you get it down, you can really evolve from there.
Oh, yes. I agree.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stephanie, for your time today. Welcome. For those listening, if they are intrigued, if they are inspired, if they're motivated to learn more, what do you recommend them to do?
I mean, they can go and text me through my LinkedIn account, or they can actually, go to yours or the team and try and get more information. Everybody's always been very open in, offering help and giving transparent conversations. It's not like trying to get people in or anything. Everybody at their own pace and if they want it. But when they want it, they need to be sure that, they see their vision and just keep going, because you're not going to be profitable right away, obviously,
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And of course, since we've met, we have been growing and we've been offering a lot more free resources. So for those of you listening, we do host monthly masterclasses, physician investing masterclasses, and professionals investing masterclasses through LinkedIn. Look me up on Philip J. Hawkshan or Dr. Stephanie, and we will be sure that you are taken care of and have all of your questions answered. With that said, it's been such a great time catching up with you. I'm super excited to see how your journey continues to unfold. And I look forward to having you back on again to see exactly where you're at in the next 6 to 12 months so that we can, again, reconnect you to the audience as well.
Yeah, thank you. It was so nice seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Dr. Stephanie. You have a good
day. Bye.
Bye-bye.